I'm Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Clamp your damn room. Stand up straight with your shoulders back and listen to The Patrick Coffin Show.
And thank you once again, Dr. Peterson. This is The Patrick Coffin Show. We've got a great, power-packed bunch of time coming up straight ahead. We're going to talk about the roots of America, the biblical and natural law roots of our country, and how America has slowly morphed into the secular monster in which we live today. How did this happen? How did the tyranny of the tiny minority engage in so much aggressive activism to influence people like unelected judges on the Supreme Court? We got good news, some bad news, and some ugly news. And our guest is up to the task and will be here shortly, right here on The Patrick Coffin Show. Don't miss it. Yes, indeed. Charles Limandri is a double board certified attorney who's been practicing law for over 30 years. He's admitted to practice law in California, New York, Washington, D.C., and before the United States Supreme Court. In 2012, he founded the Freedom of Conscience Defense Fund to meet the attacks on religious freedom that are coming with greater frequency. Chuck Limandri, so great to connect with you again, sir. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me on your show, Patrick. Good to be with you.
I first came across something you wrote a while ago in The Wanderer, and it's called How Did the U.S. Become a Secular Nation? You've got a fascinating, pithy account of Supreme Court decisions that really, in a way, treated if you liken the court to a rudder of a very large ship. A very small number of people make judicial decisions that the rest of us, to the tens, hundreds of millions, have to live with, sometimes for generations. So, thanks for writing that. But can I start with something that connects us back to Catholic Answers?
Absolutely.
About 6 or 7 years ago, you did a 3 CD set called Goodbye Religious Freedom, Goodbye Religious Liberty, I think it's question mark.
Right. There you
go. You made predictions in there that I'm sure even good, solid Catholics who are concerned about the culture would probably roll their eyes a little bit. You sound a little bit dire, especially with respect to the LGTB agenda, and that our religious freedoms and respect for conscience is going to diminish greatly. Well, all your predictions came true. I'm not happy to report.
Yeah,
but how has that set of predictions come true? And because things have changed so quickly in the last 5 years.
Sure. Dramatically, actually. I mean, we thought it would take probably more time than it has actually taken, particularly since the United States Supreme Court came out with the Obergefel decision making same-sex marriage the law of the land a couple of years ago. And we knew that it was not just an attack on marriage, it was an attack on gender, because once you make marriage something other than a gendered institution between a man and a woman, we thought it would have other social implications, but we had no idea that within a year, all you're hearing about is a whole transgender issue. And Bruce Jenner and now kids being taught in the school, even as early as kindergarten and first grade, that they can choose their gender. They could be a boy and a girl. They could be either. They could be neither, or any number of other variations. We didn't expect that would happen quite so soon. And I think that's, in some respects, even a bigger threat than same-sex marriage, which is probably the biggest threat to our culture, since marriage is a cornerstone of society. But spiritually, as Archbishop Corleone described it during the Prop 8 campaign, before the Supreme Court decision came out in Obergefel, and what kind of prompted me to record that audio series on Goodbye Religious Liberty, what Archbishop Corleone had said is that by attacking marriage, you're attacking gender and you're attacking man's relationship with God, because God has chosen to frame that relationship as it would exist between a loving father and their children. Why Jesus said, pray our Father with Abba, like daddy, that loving relationship, which doesn't exist in a lot of other religions. In Islam, God is certainly not considered a loving father. You would never refer to him as daddy. So
master-slave relationship there.
There you go. So without that concept of gender, we don't even know how to relate properly with God. As a parent, Patrick, that your children, particularly, when they're really smart, completely dependent upon us and surrender themselves to us to take care of them, and they know we will. I remember my kids were small, they like jump off the top of the stairs, much to my surprise and chagrin when I'm coming up the stairs knowing I'm going to catch them.
Yep.
And of course I would die trying.
Hey, this is Patrick Coffin. If you like what you see and hear and you want to see and hear more, consider joining Coffin Nation as a full member. Just click right here and find out more about what that means. Nipsey, my fedora. That's Coffin Nation, the world's largest online community of culture builders. Click right here. See you on the inside.